Hello everybody, welcome to Builder Buy. So this issue of stopping the reboots. Now Milt sent this. He also sent a link about what's your IP address. You can read about that. But Milt got this link. I believe it was an article in PC World, but or else it was Kim Commando. I don't remember. But it's Winaero, how to permanently stop Windows 10 reboots after installing updates. And it's kind of ingenious. If you read through this and do what he says, service running, there's a way to trick it, because that's really what you're doing. I love it. And you can always reset it. You're not preventing reboots because you can still manually reboot, but you're preventing the automatic reboots that Microsoft does. And that's the key.
Well, when you're trying to do something and you're unaware that it's downloading, you think you got a virus working on your computer because it just goes haywire with whatever you're trying to do.
It does. I agree. It's saying it's annoying is putting it mildly, but being able to stop the reboots, you know, this is something that they ought to incorporate into that O&O program. The O&O program that stopped all that mess from happening. What's nice about this is you go into the admin tools and you go into the task scheduler, and what you do is you have a task in there called reboot. You disable it. And then once you disable reboot, then you go into File Explorer and you find where that thing is located and you make a backup of it. And instead of letting it have the executable, you create this folder and it will stop doing that. Now until Microsoft gets wise to what everybody's doing, it'll stop those crazy reboots. I get what Microsoft is trying to do, but you know, if you've got some work you're doing and all of a sudden your machine goes haywire, like you said, you think you got a virus. And it's annoying. I won't say how annoying, but you know, because you feel like you're SOL. But this is ingenious on what this article is all about. I can go through the process if you want. Do y'all want to see it? Sure, okay. Give me a second while I set myself down. Let's start from the top. Okay, I'm going to go back to Builder Buy, and right now this is number 13 on the list from Milt. Winaero, how to permanently stop Windows 10 reboots after installing updates. So I click on that, hold down the control key, I get this article. How to permanently stop the Windows 10 reboots after installing updates. This will stop the auto restart. This rude behavior. So if this is hard to disable, number one, we're going to open the control panel. So I'm going to right click. Now this is a standard install of Windows. If I had one of those other programs installed that messes up the menus or changes the menus, then I would have to click to get to it a different way. But with the standard install, default install, I'll right click on the button, and I'll go to Control Panel. When Control Panel is up, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into the Admin Tools. So we'll call it the Admin Tools, and I'm going to toggle back over. And once we have Admin Tools up, we're going to click on the Task Scheduler icon. So let's go to the Task Scheduler, which is down here toward the bottom, third from the bottom. We'll click on Task Scheduler. We're going to call that up. Okay. With Task Scheduler up, now we're going to go down and we're going to scroll to something called Update Orchestrator. Task Scheduler Library. Thank you. There you go. Bingo. Thanks, Jack. I'm new at this. Okay, the one I'm looking for would be under Microsoft. I didn't get that. Here it is. Task Scheduler Library, Microsoft. Thanks, Jack. Under Microsoft, we're going to Microsoft Windows. Windows. Oh, here we go. Wow. And we're going all the way down to Update Orchestrator. Let me move this over just a little bit so we can see. Update Orchestrator. Right there it is. Okay, under Update Orchestrator, we're going to see a task called Reboot. So Update Orchestrator. Right there it is, reboot. We're going to right click on that. We're going to say disable. Sneaky, isn't it? Let's double check, disable. Okay, right click, disable. It's disabled. This is just the start. If we don't finish it, it won't work. Once the reboot task is disabled, Windows 10 will never reboot itself automatically after updates have been installed. Notice the progress bar on this article, I'm way up here. I've just gotten started. Now, here's where the fun stuff is. Sometimes Windows 10 is able to re-enable the task automatically. So we're going to ensure that Windows 10 will not re-enable it by doing the following. Okay, we're going to bring up File Explorer, and we're going to go to this particular location. So I'm going to click and drag, copy. I'm going to do the Start key E to bring up this task. I'll click in that bar, and I'll do Control V, Enter, and that takes me to that location. Now that little file is what I'm looking at. So let's go back here and look at our instructions. Open this folder, which we've done. Rename the file with the name reboot without an extension to reboot.back. So I'll just click and drag, copy, reboot. I'll give that an F2, Control V, and reboot.back. Access denied. You need administrator permission. I'm going to say continue. As the board would say, resistance is futile. Rename the file with an extension to reboot.back. We've done that. If you can't rename the mentioned file, you need to take ownership. Well, we got that. Rename the file reboot.back. Create an empty folder here instead and name it reboot. An empty folder. Okay. We're going to create a folder, and we're going to call it reboot. And now, let's go back over here, and it says, create an empty folder here and name it reboot. This will prevent Windows 10 from recreating the reboot task and restarting the computer whenever it wants. Later, if you change your mind, delete the reboot folder and rename the file from reboot back to reboot. Alternatively, you can use a small app shutdown guard which prevents the operating system from accidental reboots. That's it. Okay. So we went through the process to make that rascal behave. Now, is that slick? What do you think, Jack? Thumbs up. Now, somebody's going to come along later and say, Gil, you remember when you showed us how to do so-and-so? Well, there's a link on Builder By. It's specific to today, and it was for the first Wednesday. Because this information for today will stay, but it'll go to another page, which are pertinent to the first, where there is no link right now for the 2/1/2017. The information for today will be on that link. And I'll put some text up here that says how to keep your computer from rebooting. Click on that link. It'll give you the good stuff that you need. So, we got that from Milt. How to permanently stop Windows 10 reboots after installing updates.
So can I ask you a question?
Yes, David. Where's the mic? Let's get a mic on David. How's your dad, David?
Oh, my parents are both just fine.
Good. I hadn't seen you, so I just wondered.
Just been busy.
I understand. Good. Work's always good. Yes, sir.
So the reason I take it that you want to stop Windows from rebooting is because you just don't want your workflow interrupted, or what?
Correct.
Okay.
Do not want my workflow interrupted if I am installing an application and Microsoft all of a sudden says, we're going to reboot your computer before you're finished.
Right.
Then I have to go back and, or if I'm giving a presentation and the computer says, we're getting ready to reboot, I don't have to worry about it doing that now.
All right. And you say you've got the link to this process on the Builder By site?
Yes, go to builderby.org or builderby.net, and for the page for today, it's under the news. For the topics for discussions, our talking points, it's got Milt's name next to it, and right now it's number 13. And that's Winaero, how to permanently stop Windows 10 reboots after installing updates. Now, the issue that Ed Hansen mentioned about how do you keep the updates from being installed, That's another issue, and I'm sure someone's got a link on that. If someone sends me the link, I'll get it up, we'll walk through it. I haven't had time. I've been flying by the seat of my pants. We went a little long today, folks. I hope you got your money's worth. I want to thank everybody for coming. A few folks left early. For those of you that are online that are watching, we look forward to seeing you next week. This is Builder By, signing off. Have a great day. We'll see you next week.